In early 2020, Rhode Island faced a public health challenge, along with the nation and the entire world. A novel coronavirus emerged from China and made its way around the Earth in just a few short weeks. The federal government monitored the appearance of COVID-19 and took steps to face the problem and then fight it. States, including ours, quickly followed the federal lead. Governor Gina Raimondo played a very visible role in taking charge of the local response. Legislative leaders were nowhere to be found as faces of the COVID counterattack. Other elected officials from the Ocean State remained silent too. So Governor Raimondo was left to implement federal guidelines almost exclusively via executive orders. The statewide lockdown that ensued was unique in living memory. Some wondered openly whether or not all the methods employed were necessary or effective. Still, Rhode Islanders complied, even finding dark humor in the grim situation. As the weeks wore on, though, the lockdown became burdensome. The already fragile economy of Little Rhodey suffered greatly. State revenues plummeted as everyone hunkered down. Eventually, the statistics, grim as they were, seemed to indicate the early warnings of catastrophe were never realized. That made living in the COVID cage more and more onerous. It pointed up the collateral damage being inflicted by the lockdown as potentially greater than that of the disease. The governor seemed unaware of the unintended consequences of her COVID orders. To help her understand the changing needs of her constituents, an informal grassroots coalition of friends and activists undertook to make a public statement. The result was a press conference and demonstration at the State House that attracted concerned citizens from all across Rhode Island. The word went out quickly over social media. The clear intent of the organizers was to comply with existing guidelines while urging a relaxation of the lockdown. Using masks and social distancing, the speakers planned to argue for a reopening of the Ocean State. On Monday, May 11th, 2020, the organizers set up the press conference podium area to accommodate social distancing as few demonstrators on foot gathered onto Marble Plaza along with press crews. As the press conference began, a parade of cars and trucks grew in numbers as more demonstrators on foot appeared.
However, April has not been reported, but Rhode Island's unemployment was very similar to the national unemployment in those 3 months.
Radio host John DePietro broadcast the proceedings live on WNRI AM and FM. That enabled drivers passing in review to hear the speeches and react with their horns for approval or disapproval. The growing crowd heard stories of the difficulties facing real churches and real business owners. They heard speaker after speaker asking the governor to trust her citizens to act like the adults they are.
Immune system. What have happened to personal responsibility? People are smart enough in this country and in this state to be able to make decisions. The government shouldn't have to tell them what to do.
2 years, and we worked very hard. We came out and taken a pay. We just kept reinvesting back into the business. And we built it up to, it's pretty successful. Then this pandemic come out, and it's nobody's fault. But it's how they dealt with it.
The press got the story. The cars circled around and around. The photographers took pictures of one another. The citizens made the statement they wanted to make, hoping the governor would listen.
This guy's been here 120 years.
is too slow. We need the people. We're going to lose all businesses. And
All had hope. It's our state's motto. The hope throughout the plaza was that the government would strike a better balance, as it did during the Hong Kong flu pandemic 50 years ago. No one wants to see Rhode Island as a sinking ship. Everyone wants to begin rebuilding and to celebrate our strengths as a state and a nation.